In December, I made more money for the first time ever than my husband. So that was pretty huge.
Hello, everyone. I have Priscilla Basilio here. I'm so excited to introduce you to her. I'm going to be talking to Priscilla about her calligraphy journey. It's spectacular. I love watching Priscilla just like grow and build this business, mostly on Instagram. We're going to do this a little bit differently. So, Priscilla, obviously, she took my calligraphy courses, um, both beginner, intermediate, and some business trainings. And we're going to start off with Priscilla, what can you tell us about what has been like your biggest success? Like, what are you the most proud of kind of recently in your calligraphy business?
Well, I think the main thing is my confidence has grown so much. Like I feel like I'm a different person since starting my business. But in terms of like more physical,
Yeah.
something huge. In December, I made more money for the first time ever than my husband. So that was pretty huge for us.
Wait, okay, but so you brought in with your calligraphy business, and I just want to, do you have your day job as well that you're
No,
still doing?
no, I didn't. I mean, I do only once a week, but that's another big win. I'm actually quitting that at the end of January. So I know everything is just,
Holy, okay. Oh my God. I did not know this, y'all, but I've been talking to Priscilla and I know that that's been a dream of hers for at least a
yeah,
year and a half.
well, yeah, 2, 3 years.
Oh my God. Okay. We
I
totally
know.
gave away we gave away the glamorous end result. And okay, we're gonna back up, y'all. And get a little bit more into how Priscilla was able to do this because I know there's just so many people out there who hear this and go, "Oh my God, I would love that." And just don't see how that's possible for me. So, okay, we're gonna back up. And like, how did you get interested in calligraphy in the first place?
So I didn't know anything about calligraphy, didn't even know it was a thing until I saw one of your ads on Instagram. And I was like, well, this looks interesting. And it was for a workshop where you would teach us how to do it with like, you just pick like the cheapest things available and it doesn't matter what you have, you just kind of do
Hmm.
these like basic strokes or whatever and you learn calligraphy. Um, and at the end, you talked about your course, and I was like, well, I'm hooked. I'm doing it. Because it was just so fun. It was something that I've never seen before, so interesting. And I had no interest in making money out of it at first. It was just something
Wow.
that I enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I was just like immediately hooked.
I love this. I hear from so many people like I always had good handwriting or my grandmother taught me calligraphy, when I was 6 or I've had experience with it before, but I always wanted to take it further. And I don't know if I've ever heard anybody who said, I literally have no idea what this
Yeah.
is. It just intrigues me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go
I
for
didn't
it.
even know anything about it before I saw
Oh
your
my
ad.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then you decide to go, what was it that you took was it 101 or
Yes.
okay, so you took my beginner calligraphy course where you learn how to use the pointed pen. And
Hmm.
I think I remember you just falling head over heels
Yeah.
while you
Yeah.
were in the
I was
class for
obsessed.
that. At
I
what?
practiced
Yeah,
like every night when I come home from work. I'm like,
yeah.
no one talking to me right now. I'm gonna go do calligraphy.
I love that. At what point, so you're just loving it. At what point does it enter your mind? Like, okay, maybe I could do something with this.
I think in 101, you talk about, if you want to take it further and create your own style, there was the 201 that you can
Mhm.
take. And I was like, I think I could do this, even if I'm not making like $100,000 a year, it's just I could do a little bit extra or I could do it for my friends or whatever. So
Yeah.
I took your course, the 101, February 1st. I have like my binder here with everything.
Oh,
So
that's
that
more
started
organized than I
February
am.
1st. And then I took 201 in
Mhm.
April. And then I launched my business in May
Okay, wait, and this is 2021, right?
2022.
2022. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you
Oh,
took
yeah, about 2 years ago.
so you took 201 in March,
April 420.
April, and
Yeah.
then you launched your business in May.
Yeah. About a month later.
Okay, that was quick.
Yeah.
Did you?
Well, you know what it is? I listened to your podcast where you were always encouraging us to just do it. Like I think you said you only did it. You learned calligraphy and then 2 or 3 months later you launched your business. And I
Mhm.
was like, well, I'm doing it too then.
Yes. Okay. Right? Because literally, why not? Everybody
Yeah.
listening can think of every single reason why, like, I'm special and maybe I was able to do it. But then the more stories you hear, like, all those people are special and
Yeah.
like amazing,
Yeah.
unique ways. No, it's just that we were able to go for it. Okay. So from when you started to like to now, sort of give me a little bit of a like, how has it gone? What was it when you started and what is it now?
Yeah. So even though I started my business only a month after like developing my own style, I didn't really have business. I wasn't like 100% prepared.
Yeah.
So I launched it, but I learned as I went. And I'm obviously, you're always learning every day. But my whole year, like that whole first year was pretty much me just learning. I don't even really count like, oh, that was my first year in business. Like, because last year really was like when I started, I kicked it off with a bang and I had
Went for it.
everything. But yeah, I just really learned, the more my cousin was my first client. So I did her addressing on her envelopes.
Hmm.
So that's really when I started to practice. I started to figure out what part of the calligraphy business I wanted to do because
Yeah.
there's so many avenues you can take.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I want to do weddings. And that's what I've been in just since then.
Okay. That's I love this interview. So happy about it because there's so many lessons here for everyone out there who was like, I can't even imagine doing it. Is I do count your first year, 2022, of you going out there. I do. For me, I'm like, that's her first year in business because you can't learn it by anything else than just doing it.
Hmm.
You have literally just have to go out there and start offering things and trying
Yeah.
projects and figuring out what you like and what you don't like and what kinds of clients you like and what you don't like. You literally cannot find that out through any other like thinking or absorbing of
Yeah.
information other
And
than
I'm the type of
experience.
person who loves to be prepared for everything.
Yeah.
If I'm opening a pack of scissors, let me read the manual. I got to read everything beforehand.
I don't want to
But with
ruin
it,
it.
yeah, exactly. With this, I was like, no, because there is no manual. I have my own path. There's no manual for my business and my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just got to go for it.
Dang. Okay. So what has been different about this year? From the outside, let me tell you all, because I follow Priscilla on Instagram and I just see a real focus starting last year, 2023, of weddings, speaking very specifically to your clients, like your potential clients. Hey, are you just engaged? Here's what you need to know. Hey, are you thinking about invitations? Here's the dates you need to know, which I love. I'm like, yes, she's speaking to the people who would be interested in hiring her. Does
Yeah.
that sound right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure, like I said, if I wanted to do weddings.
Hmm.
But I was like, I can see a lot of things that I can do with weddings. I can actually not just address and do place cards, but I can digitize my calligraphy and put that on the invitation. And then I can do the mirrors and everything can be cohesive for the
Yeah.
client. They don't have to reach out to a bunch of different people. And as a stationer who can do her own calligraphy, that's also really helpful.
Yeah.
Um, and I also do have some side things when, for example, December, November, it's a little bit slower for weddings. So I do live events, and that's like huge. Live events Q4 are crazy. So
Yeah.
that's how I was also able to beat my husband at our monthly income.
That's fantastic. I think it's the first like way of putting an income sort of achievement. Like you're the first person I've heard put it that way, and I love it. I want so much more of that
Yeah,
in
and
the
he's
calligraphy
like,
world.
okay, I don't mind.
He's like, get more money? Oh, that's
I'll be a
fantastic.
stay-at-home dog dad.
Yeah. What was something that you, just to give people listening, some really good takeaway, lessons? Like, what was something that you really struggled with in business? Like, what's a big lesson that helped you get through?
I mean, everything. I'm afraid of everything.
Oh,
And I feel like, as crazy as it is, like doing things scared has been like, that's my business motto, because I'm scared of doing everything. Like I said, I want something to be perfect and go for that path and do that. But you can't, there's no, with your own business, when you have a small business, that doesn't exist.
yeah.
So doing things afraid, that's been how I do things now, which I'm like, okay, I didn't know I could do this.
And do you ever find yourself getting less afraid, or is it just that you're
Yes.
better able to manage it?
Yeah, I mean, you do it once. I was deathly afraid of like speaking to people because, like, oh my gosh, public speaking, anything like that. I'm like, no, no, I don't want to do it. And now I'm getting more comfortable with it,
Yeah.
and you find ways to cope and to learn how to do the thing you're afraid. And then you're like, oh, well, that wasn't that bad. So then there's always something else to achieve and to
Mhm.
like be proud of yourself.
Yeah. But now you're someone who can go out and speak to people.
Yeah, which I never in my life thought I would do. I mean, I didn't even really like, I never had a dream of having a business. I never thought that I would want that. But once I saw that calligraphy gave me that opportunity, I'm like, oh my God, this can actually happen in my life. I'm
Yeah.
still like in shock to this day that I have a business.
And it's still like I'm so delighted by it too, even though I've seen it happen for so many people. And even though it happened for me too, like I didn't think about going for a business until I saw other people doing it and sharing about it and saying, like, hey, this is totally possible.
Yeah, it is.
And
And it
it
is.
happens. It's like you're gonna inspire other people, it's just gonna keep going. That's
Yeah,
fucking fantastic.
I
And
know.
let me
It's
tell you guys who
crazy.
are listening, the live events, these are no small. I've seen videos of these, and it's like at large liquor retailers,
Hmm.
lots of people who you're like talking to and doing calligraphy for, like there on the spot.
Yeah.
Right?
And even in that realm, you can do, I mean, even in the live events, you can do liquor stores, you can
Yeah,
do, big parties, you can do, I mean, there's so many different things you can do. That's
yeah,
kind of the amazing thing with calligraphy is you can
yeah.
do so many different things.
That's true. That's totally true. Oh my
And
gosh.
I'm a
So,
watercolor artist too, and I feel like
oh,
calligraphy is more versatile than watercolor in terms of that because you
yeah,
you can do whatever.
yeah, I agree. It's because calligraphy is words.
Yeah.
So wherever there is language that needs to be conveyed, you can add in an element of calligraphy, which is what makes it so it's never, I don't think it's ever going to go away, the art
No.
of pretty writing, because we rely on human language so much.
Yeah.
So
And
there's that.
especially now that, kids aren't learning cursive at school. I hear a lot from when I do live events that people are just wowed by calligraphy. They're like, you just did that on the bottle? And it's like, yeah.
Okay. So that's so interesting. You're giving me so many interesting tidbits. I keep getting off topic, but I just have to say, like, I've heard people say, well, isn't calligraphy just going to die as a thing because kids aren't learning cursive in school anymore? And you could look at it that way, or you could see it going the total opposite way, where it's even more precious,
Oh, yeah.
even more artisanal. It's even more of a unique skill that is sought after.
Yeah. Because we're not going to live in a digital only world. I
Well,
don't see that happen.
I think Meta wants to make that happen, but let's give it like 10 or 20 years. I don't know.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, okay. Tangents aside. What are you looking forward to in 2024 when it comes to your business?
I definitely, I'm looking forward to working for myself. Being my own boss is
Yeah,
obviously going to be huge. It's going to be a big adjustment, and growing my business so that I can have even more clients and just even more opportunities that I haven't gotten to do before.
yeah,
I'm just so excited to see like what I can do,
yeah,
because I've always doubted myself. I've always been like, oh, I'm just a little girl working for. Now I'm like, oh, I have my own business. I created this, and it's just like mind blowing to me.
your confidence and your power, I gotta say, are just radiating through right now.
That's crazy for me to hear because I feel like I'm still like this shy little person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But it's
calligraphy did that, you know?
it's crazy how our identities can change, how much more like can be possible for us than we
Yeah.
ever thought. I want to impress that upon everyone who is listening. So, okay, I'm going to close this out by how much like would you recommend our calligraphy courses? How much were they a factor in your journey?
Literally life changing. I mean, I had no idea that in like February when it was cold out and I was driving to work and it's snowing and listening to your words, your podcast, like it literally changed my life. And I'm 37, I think. I'm like I have to do the math. But and I still like I think, oh, I'm gonna be in this path that I've been my whole life. I'm almost 40. I'm getting older, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what? I'm only 37. And this has changed my life to the point where like I see so much opportunity in my life now. There's so many things that I can do, even if I decide I don't want to do weddings anymore. Like
Mhm.
there, like I said, calligraphy is you can do so much with calligraphy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see a whole different life now. And my whole family is so excited for me and so
Oh
proud of
my
me. So
God.
it's everything.
Oh my God.
It was everything.
Oh, Priscilla. You're like restoring my faith in all of this because I do have to say to everyone who's listening, like we're not saying this is easy, right? Building your own business, it's hard. It's hard. You have to learn how to do new stuff all the time. You have to do stuff scared all the time.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself out there all the time and face rejection and failure and where you don't feel like an expert. You rarely do because you're growing so fast. But the sense of, this the way it opens up your world is
Yeah.
mad. And 37, I mean, I was thinking about that recently. I'm 42. So we're kind of similar, And I was just thinking, oh, I have like 20, 25, potentially 30 more years if, my health, stays of like really contribute, like being strong and smart and increasingly wise and more
Yeah.
experienced and being able to like do stuff out in the world. That's cool to think
I
about
know.
when you love and you're excited about what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it has honestly, like, I'm a different person. And I've talked about like my anxiety struggles, and my anxiety in 2020 and 2021 were horrible. Especially with the pandemic. I work in a healthcare field, or I did. And it was just, I couldn't sleep. My health was terrible. And
Yeah.
now I don't really even think about anxiety. I mean, every now and then, obviously, everyone has a bit, but it's
Yeah.
like, that's gone away because I know that I'm relying on myself and I know I'm not going to let myself down.
Oh
So
my God. I guess this is so powerful. Thank you so, so much for coming on here and for sharing all that. I'm so excited to watch what you do. I can't wait to just like tell everybody, go follow Priscilla. So Priscilla is mostly, I think, on Instagram, and then from there you can get to all of her other, links and stuff. You are in Boston, right?
mhm.
And mostly focusing on wedding calligraphy right now, but also doing live events, but also just following her journey as a creative entrepreneur is so inspiring. So she is at Priscilla Basilio Design Studio, all one word on Instagram. I'm not going to attempt to. Priscilla is with two L's and Basilio is with one L. And then it's Priscilla Basilio Design Studio. But I'm going to put it in the show notes and, or below wherever I post this. So y'all can go follow Priscilla, show her some support, see what she's up to, be inspired by her. Thank you so, so much, Priscilla.
Thank you for having me and thank you for creating this because you've changed not just my life, but so many other people's lives.
Oh, you are too.
Literally.
Hot damn. All right. That was fantastic. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you for listening.